Hello everyone. Today I read a story like on social media, one of the social media platforms that I use. I got a link to a story and I was just reading through the story, and it was something which I really found relevant with the kind of discussions that I want to have through my videos. So I'll just share with all of you. So once, like, it's just a very childish story that we tell to, our children to make them sleep, or so that they enjoy it, or while we feed them or something. But I'll come to the context after I finish off the story. So once upon a time, there was a king and had a whole kingdom and empire, sort of, and a lot of things. And there was a businessman. Like, I'm talking about a time when, a very ancient kind of time. You can imagine when there were emperors or kings ruling a particular kingdom or empires at that point of time. So the businessman had made huge losses and he was in dire need of money. So his wife suggested him, you go and see the emperor or the king, whoever was there, and because he's there to help people and he might help you with money. So since it was the last resort, the businessman went to the king and he tried to initially showcase his talents. He tried to sing, he tried to do stuff, and because he was talented as well, so that, because he did not want the money like that only, so what he did was he did something which he thought that his talent would get him money from the emperor by making him impressed. So he tried all of it, and then when the king asked him, like, what do you want in return after such a wonderful performance, he said, I do not want anything extraordinary, just give me 1 lakh gold coins. So the king was just taken aback at the fact that this person is just coming all of a sudden asking for 1 lakh gold coin, which is a really big thing, probably if it is that point of time. So the king immediately refused that, obviously I cannot give you 1 lakh gold coins. But the businessman was a clever person. And you can imagine that ancient point of time when people were not very, literate, and including the people in the kingdom, like who are ruling the people, like the kings and all. So he was just thinking he had to just come up with a reply. So he saw a chessboard there where everybody was sitting, and there were ministers of the king, whatever you want to call it. And he saw a chessboard and an idea struck him. So what he did was he asked the king to just put in front the chessboard. And since there are 64 square pieces, what he did was he said, Ki, every day you don't give me 1 lakh gold coins, it's okay. Today you give me just 1 gold coin, but just a request that what you need to do is, like, the businessman is pleading to the king, every day you just give me the double. Like, there are 64 square pieces. Like, if you give me 1 gold coin today, give me 2 gold coins tomorrow, give me 4 gold coins the day after tomorrow, and so on, 4, 8, 16, and the trend goes on and on. So the king obviously did not do the calculation, and he thought how much amount would actually he would end up giving the person with the 64 square pieces with the 64 days. Obviously less than 1 lakh. So he thought that, yeah, this is a better option. And so he just called his minister and said, you don't have to ask me. Whenever this man comes up every day, you just give him the double coins of the previous day. And this is how the man went. So the process was going on and on. The 1 gold coin was given to him, then 2 gold coins, then 4 gold coins, then 8 gold coins. Suddenly on the 23rd day, the minister was, with perspiration and sweat and everything, was just running and coming to the king and telling him that we are going bankrupt. Like, our kingdom is not left with any gold coins because of the policy that the king had offered to the entrepreneur or the businessman. And the king was like, who asked you to give him so many gold coins? So the minister replied that on the 23rd day, he had to give him 41,000 for 41 lakh 94,304 gold coins. So the king was shocked to hear this, and he was just approaching the king to tell him on the 24th day, they would have to give him 83 lakh 88,608 gold coins. So the king was left with no options, and at that point of time, it was very important for people, especially the king, to keep the promises, and he could just not, say ki, no, I don't want to continue with this offer, and we have to end it right here. But the next day, when 24th day, the businessman came, the king pleaded in front of him, I'll have to name the kingdom after you, because nothing is left in the empire that I'm having, the kingdom that I'm having, and all I had to give you just to, fulfill my promise that I had given to you. So this story is a very childish story, but just wanted to put forth the concept of compounding, how wonderful the concept of compounding is. Imagine how, let's say, in case of one gold coin, it was just 1 rupees. It would have ended up into such a big amount. I'm not saying we will get 100% return, obviously, like if we invest ever, but I was just trying to explain the concept of compounding, like 100% return in the sense, you'll see in the story, the amount is doubling, right? So that means 100% return. I'm not trying to imply that, but I'll just come to explain it a little bit further. So this is how the story ends, and I put forth the concept of compounding in front of all of you. Compound interest is considered the 8th wonder of the world, and a lot of people will agree to it. When a lot of times when I was teaching the chapter compound interest, students would ask me, what is the relevance of this chapter? Simple interest chapter was enough with the formula I is equal to PRT by 100, by another formula like A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N. So at that point of time, at a very grassroots level, it is very difficult to explain to students what the exact relevance of the chapter is. But now coming to the fact that the country we live in, we are filled, there is still a lot of, financial illiteracy prevalent all across the country. People are, with so many revolutions happening, with we reaching so many stages of, development in our life, we are still financially illiterate as a whole. So we need to understand this concept of compounding. Now, how to achieve this concept of compounding? I will not talk about strategies. I will not talk about anything. It is just an eye-opener video for all of you who still feel, a lot of people say, what is the use of investing? I'll save my money. I have 1 lakh rupees. I'll save my money and it will just stay 1 lakh. But people miss out on the concept of inflation, which is approximately, let's say, 5 to 6% per annum. And banks offer you like savings account offers you roughly around 3%. FD offers you around 5%. These are the main things which people think are the safe option. Now, given the inflation of 5 to 6% per annum, if you're putting your money into savings account, which gives you 3%, you are going to the concept of negative compounding. Like you don't have anything extra. The purchasing power is also decreasing. The price of things are increasing by 5 to 6%, and you are earning only 3% on your money. So extra 2% or 2.5 or 3% is going from your pocket. So what is the use of actually putting your money into savings account? And no person in the world has become rich by just putting his money into savings account. You can check the historical records. And FD, a lot of people stick to, let's say some may offer to, like post office schemes may offer around interest of, let's say 6% also. That is not also very, very huge marginal increment or incremental return of 1%. So then people resort to this option, gold. They buy, which gives you around 9 to 10%. That is still a good option. But my question is, if you have better options, why to choose options which are not so good? Right? I mean, I'm not saying gold is not a good option. It gives you 9 to 10% per annum, but you need to earn more, right? So also there is a rule of 72, which I've talked about in few of my earlier videos. It is nothing but, let's say you have 1 lakh rupees and you want to know, and you earn 12% with any amount of investment that you have, you know that you'll earn 12%. I mean, you cannot be certain about it, but you have an idea you'll earn 12%. So if somebody asks you, in how much time will your 1 lakh become 2 lakhs? That is double. So you can just, what you can do is divide the amount of the percentage return that you'll earn with 72. So you can say it will double in 6 years. This can work for any question, any doubling question. Like if it would have been 1 crore and you would be earning, let's say 12%, you would say 1 crore would become 2 crore. with 6 years, same amount, like 72 by 12, it's the same. So this is the rule of 72, which a lot of people already know. I would not try to emphasize on it. But now what about the other options, the, the options that are available? So you have good mutual funds. Mutual funds can also be into equity or debt, can be classified into equity or debt. You have to specifically stick to equity, which will give you more returns. Let's say good mutual funds can give you around return of 15% per annum. And now, what is equity mutual fund? It is nothing but investing indirectly into shares. So why not directly? A lot of people are like, share market is risky. Let's stay away from it. Of course it is. You don't get returns without risk, of course. But if you can learn about it. It's not like people are foolish. They have not just made money, just like that. Also, there are other options like real estate. I have not talked about real estate. Why I haven't talked about real estate? Because if you have very less capital, let's say you have a small capital, you're out of the game. For real estate, you need a huge chunk of money to make recurring income out of it. But obviously, that's a great career, not career, but investment option. And land is obviously not a depreciable asset. It's always an appreciable asset. So it's a great investment. But for small cap investors like us, it's not, we're already out of the game. It's not a good option. So that is why I'm not sticking to real estate. So now equity. Now, how do people make money out of equity? You can earn greater than 18%. I'm not assuring any return. I can give you what are the possibilities so that you can, because even as a matter of fact, gold cannot give you 9 to 10%. It's not certain. Sometimes it can give you 6%, 7%, or very par with the inflation rate going on. Nothing is certain. But if there is a possibility, why not exploit it? Right? Why not arbitrage to it? So basically, equity can give you greater than 18% return. Now, you must have seen a lot of companies, like if you follow the markets, people who invested in the bad times, like in the COVID time, and if you compare it with right now, though the markets are very volatile, it keeps on fluctuating, but even some companies have given 10 times return in a very short amount of time. So you can totally imagine the compounding power, the amount of return a person who invested at the right time got. So it is all about the timing thing and a little bit of patience, but certainly you should not go for traditional options like which follow the concept of negative compounding, like savings account. You should refrain from it, and we have to be financially literate to give ourselves a better lifestyle and contribute towards the GDP, the economy of our country, and also to our lifestyle. Anything for us only, like let's forget about the broader picture, let's forget about everything, focus on yourself, grow. So I think this was just an eye-opener video that do not ever underestimate the power of compounding. It is, I already mentioned, it is the 8th wonder of the world. I just got reminded with that story. So I thought probably I'll share with all of you who might just find it interesting. So thank you very much for sticking till the end. Bye-bye.